My wife has always reassured me that good things come in small packages. Honestly, I have no idea what she's talking about. Welcome to Collection Essentials. In today's episode, we're looking at 10 small games that pack a punch. Please remember to like and subscribe. Number 10, Pitch Out. Pitch Out is a dexterity game where you're trying to flick your opponent's pieces out of bounds. Take out their captain and you win. Pitch Out is such an underrated game. I rarely hear anybody talking about it. Honestly, it's such a fun way to spend 30 minutes. There's also a surprising amount of strategy in this game. It's fast, frenetic fun, and you'll often find yourself scrambling across the floor trying to retrieve a piece you just flicked a million miles away. Number 9. Skull. Skull is a game that's all about bluffing. Each player has 4 discs, 3 flowers and 1 skull. On your turn, you either place a disc face down or bet how many discs you can flip over without hitting a skull. The person with the highest bid starts flipping. Flip only flowers, you win the round. Do this twice and victory is yours. But if you reveal a skull, say goodbye to one of your discs at random. Lose all 4 and you're out. Here's the doozy though. When you start flipping discs over, you have to flip all of your discs first. This rule right here is what makes Skull so good. Do you fake that you can guess 3 flowers even though you know there's a skull on the top of your pile just to try and trick your mate Ricky into upping the bid so he's out for the round? Yes, Ricky, we know I'm a terrible person. Also, who the is Ricky? I don't even know anybody called Ricky. What am I talking about? Skull is like an onion. The more you play, the more layers you peel back. With the same group, you'll often see a meta develop and be able to spot people's tells, and hopefully be able to make some hard reads because of it. Number 8, Spots. Spots is a push-your-luck dice game where players roll dice to fill dog cards with matching pips. Any dice you can't place gets buried in your yard, and if your yard total goes over 7, you lose all progress on your unfinished cards. Look, I'm going to be straight here. This game does not have a ton of strategy. It's a game with a lot of luck, but that doesn't stop it from being an absolute blast. And the replayability is huge, with a variety of tricks to choose from, some of which let you keep rolling endlessly or grab a fistful of dice and only take a single number. The different actions keep things fresh and exciting. There's not really much not to like about Spots. It's small, fast, and easy to play, and my family are always wanting to get this on the table. It's just great fun. Coming in at number 7, we have Draw Polter. Draw Polter's weird.
I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
It's weird, but good weird. It's a game in which you're picking up and dropping things as fast as you can. It sounds so weird when I say it, but I promise you it's really, really good. Stick with me on this one. You hold on to a bunch of different items and a card is turned over. Drop them first, only using one hand, and then race to collect the weird ghost meeple thing. If you win, you collect a bell and it goes into your hand. If you get 5 bells, you win. What makes this game really fun though is every time you get a bell, it goes into your hand for the next round. And anytime you drop a bell, you lose it for the rest of the game. So, the more bells you get, the harder it is to drop the other items you need for the round. It's such a daft little game, but honestly, absolutely anybody can play it, and it's always a right laugh. I wouldn't recommend taking this one to the pub, because it's super easy to lose items when you're frantically shaking your hand trying to grab the bloody thing that you need to use for the round, and you end up dropping like 50 pieces, and you're doing it so fast they end up going flying across the room. The only problem is, by the end of this game, your hands will feel like a sweaty mess. And trust me when I say, have hand sanitizer close by so at the end of the game you can clean all of the pieces because they will need it. Number 6. Courtesans. In Courtesans, players manipulate noble families at the Queen's Banquet, trying to score the most points. On each turn, players place 3 cards, 1 in the central court, 1 to their own domain, and 1 to another opponent's domain. Some cards have special abilities, like spies who remain hidden until the end of the game, or assassins that kill a card in the domain that they're placed in. Players score points for their collected cards and secret missions. I'm telling you right now, this is a devious little card game, and it's a tricky puzzle to tackle. It often leaves me wondering where it all went wrong. Kind of like when I'm lying in bed at night, replaying that stupid thing I said to somebody 15 years ago that I don't even know anymore, feeling overwhelming anxiety about it. Or maybe that's just me.
I'm the problem, it's me.
I really enjoy this one. Rules are really easy and the play is super smooth. It's a lot more strategic at lower counts and more wild, place your bets and hope for the best kind of thing when you're playing with the maximum amount of players. I really like the art in this game too. It's really shiny and I'm just like that crab from Moana. Anything shiny, I want. Number 5, Scram. Scram is primarily a 2-team versus game. Your team is trying to score the least amount of points possible. You start the game with 5 cards in front of you, 2 face up and 3 face down. On your turn, you draw a card and play it for its special ability, or exchange it for a card in your row. If you have multiple of the same card in your row, you can replace that card with all cards in front of you. This action also works with your ally, and you can discard their matching cards too. When someone is down to 2 cards, they can call Scram, but it comes at a risk. So do this only if you're confident you'll win. It gives everybody else one more turn, so be careful your hand doesn't get messed with. If the team who declares Scram have a lower hand, they score 0 points, and the other team add the value in front of them, scoring a combined score. If the team who called Scram don't have a lower score, they add 10 points to the total of the cards they have. This is based off another small card game called Carbo. This is the team variant, which I much prefer because having a mate to play with in which you can use their cards as well as your own just adds another layer of strategy and makes the game a whole lot more exciting. It's such a fun card game to play, and it's one that we'll end up playing for the rest of the evening once we start. The special powers on the cards are interesting and can often swing the flow of the game. It has a fair amount of luck though. I really enjoy this game and I'm just always willing to play it. It's one of those great games that you can just stick in your pocket and take with you on an outing. Number 4, Shotten Totten. That's the least Scottish way I've ever heard that said. Scottish Totten. My accents are about as good as my memory. Let's just leave it at that. Like I needed to tell you that after I've just put you up with that horrific rendition. Shotten Totten is a 2-player card game where you compete to control boundary stones. Each stone can hold up to 3 cards per player, and the goal is to form stronger 3-card sets than your opponent. Ranked similarly, I can't say it. It's like poker. Once both players have placed 3 cards on a stone, or if you can mathematically prove your opponent can't win, you claim that stone. The game ends when a player controls either 3 adjacent stones or any 5 in total. I absolutely love Reiner Knizia, and this game is a little gem. It makes your brain burn in all the right ways, especially because of how easy it is to play. Place a card and draw a card. Simple. But beneath that simplicity is so much delicious uncertainty. Trying to figure out if your opponent has the card you need is another layer of tension. Bluffing is a really good option in this one too. Making it seem you have a card you don't will often make your opponent avoid that space and go somewhere else. But bluff carefully. As the game drags on, there's a real chance that your opponent will draw the card that you need. With the mix of manipulation, ease of play, and with just the right amount of randomness, it makes this game shine. Number 3. Combo. Combo is a game where players work together to build hands of cards, but in the end, only one player wins by scoring the most points. Each card has a point value, with lower numbered cards being worth more. If you contribute to a scoring hand, you place it into your scoring pile for the end of the game. I've been playing this game a whole bunch, and it's just incredibly fun. After each player's played 3 cards, you look at all of the cards that everybody's played in front of them, and you try and make the best hand possible, and the lower the card, the higher you'll score. Plus, what I really love about this game is table talk is actively encouraged, so it's all about trying to manipulate other people into doing what's best for you. Happy Camper is absolutely killing it with small box games at the moment. I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring out in the future. Number 2, Sea, Salt and Paper. Oh, Bruno, you steal my heart. I absolutely love Bruno Cathala. I think I've got about 2 or 3 games that are in my top 10 of all time. He's just, he touches me in all of the right places.
Huh?
And now that I've said that, I realise how bad that sounds. I'm just going to shut up now and continue with the list. It's a set collection card game where you gather and play combinations to score points, while deciding whether to end the round at just the right moment. The goal is to collect matching sets, play duos, and of course get your hands on all of the mermaids. Because if at any point you collect all 4 mermaids, you instantly win the game. Now I'm going to be clear, I've only actually played this with 2 players, but for me it's an absolute banger of a 2-player game. Deciding when to end the round is also a fascinating aspect of this game. Having that extra layer of pressure adds a really interesting layer to the game. If you're up for the challenge and don't fold under pressure, Steve, please, I'm begging you, please stop, please. Number 1, Scout. Scout is my favourite card game of all time. It's a ladder shedding game where you're trying to empty your hand as quickly as possible by playing higher sets than your opponent. The first big decision happens immediately. You can't rearrange your hand, but you can flip it around since each card has different numbers on the top to the bottom. But what makes this game really special is that you can't play sets of cards unless they're together and in order. Sets can be matching numbers, ascending sequences, or even single cards. Instead of playing a card, you can choose to scout. This allows you to take a card from the last played set, placing it anywhere in your hand. This gives a point to your opponent, but helps you form stronger sets. The card manipulation in this game just hits me in all of the right spots. It's like eating strawberries and cream on a sunny day on a boat in a lake. It just doesn't get much better. The choices you make each turn are just so much fun. It's such a fascinating design, and I just really have to tip my hat off to the designer for crafting such an amazing game. I cannot recommend this one enough. It's proper class. And that's it. That's the end of my top 10 small games that pack a mighty punch. And please remember to like and subscribe because it really does help me out. Thank you so much for watching, and join me soon for my next episode. Bye!